Hey, happy Monday, everybody. It is Get Off Our Lawn. Excited about this particular episode today, Business Shenanigans. We got a couple of great guys with us. I'm Rick here in Indianapolis. Mahmood, how are you this morning?
I am wonderful, guys. Thank you. How are you guys?
Good. Trent, how about you?
All doing well. It's happy Monday.
It is happy Monday. This is a good way to kick off the week, get our frustrations out of the way first thing on Monday morning. And this week, we're going to be talking about these animals. Cell phones, are they a blessing or a curse? Let's just start with that question. Mahmood, let's throw it over to you. Are they a blessing or a curse?
Yeah, I mean they're both. I make a living, looking at screens, and yeah, it can be a little overbearing. Oh, speaking of which, I just deleted my Facebook app again last week. I've been 10 days Facebook free, so the only Facebook I get is on my desktop here. I check what I need, and then I leave, and I don't have the app on my phone. I think I'm gonna do the same thing with Instagram. It's getting a little too much, especially when you're managing different accounts on Facebook and the notifications are like nonstop. So
If
if
I
I
could give
follow that,
people
I'll never
one
get
tip,
anything done.
if I could give people one tip, is to delete the social off your phone. Delete the social media off your phone.
Hmm.
You're going to check it way less and you're going to lose a lot less time and waste a lot less time if you delete the social media from your phone and
Hmm.
just keep it on the desktop or the laptop.
Yep, I agree.
So
Um,
how about you, Trent? Blessing or curse?
Oh, I could go off the deep end on both. So, so it's nice on the go because I have very active kids who are on all these activities, and I can't always stay chained to a desk from 8 to 5. And so it's really great to have, the phone and the iPad so I can, return emails, look things up for clients. I've returned emails in between sets at the gym or while picking up the kids from an activity. So in that sense, it's great. Where it's not great is when you're sitting down with your family for the first time in a week and you're trying to watch a movie and there's three faces looking at the cell phone and one face looking at the television.
Right. Yep, that's certainly a mixed blessing. Hey, here's a question that just popped into my mind. We'll start off with Trent on this one. Text or call?
Preferably neither, but um,
Okay, I like the way you think.
I mean, if I'm being honest, so if I'm working or like if I'm with my family or out doing an activity or something and I get a text, I'm just like, dang it, it's another interruption, another thing I have to go stop and do. Um, but again, a phone call is like way worse. I think these days, if I get a phone call, I'm like, who just died? You know?
yeah.
Right. How about you, Mahmood? Text or call?
Uh, text for short form. Once the conversation just gets, too much, I just call. I just usually call the person. Sometimes, I mean, if it's just a yes or no or like a quick text, I'll do like voice text. I like that a lot. Um, my eyes are not the best, so when I text, like it's a mess. So I always voice text, which kind of works better. You guys familiar with voice texting? You guys do it a lot at all?
I do it all the time, and
Yeah,
sometimes it comes back to bite me in the rear end.
yeah. Sometimes it autocorrect, takes you off off the edge. What did you say? But yeah, once it gets a little long and the conversation kind of breaks down into other sub conversations, then you just call and get it over with. 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm the same way, Mahmood. I like, if it's just a very quick question or statement, text me, let me know. I'll say, yeah, that's fine or whatever. But if we need to talk about it, I'm not much of one to carry on a conversation via
Hmm.
text. But like Trent, I hate talking on the phone too. So just leave me alone.
Yeah.
Anything that interrupts the flow of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Right.
But I will say I will take a phone call if I have my headphones in and I'm doing something around the house. I would prefer a phone call because I can just click, then I'm talking to the person, they hang up, and then probably the podcast I was listening to while I was cleaning up or whatever comes right back on.
Right.
So that's the less invasive. I don't have to keep stopping what I'm doing and returning a text. Right. I can just hit my headphone, take the call's over. I don't have to worry about another text, and just boom, I'm back to what I was doing.
Mm-hmm. One thing I do is I batch my calls. I've been doing that with email too. You know how sometimes like you get an email and your imposter syndrome kicks in and you're like, I got to answer it now. Otherwise people are going to be mad or, I'm not going to be customer service, I got to jump on it. That's kind of unhealthy when you're doing that constantly. And I've been through that. So now what I do is I batch my calls and my emails. I'll do them a little bit in the morning, like half an hour, and then I'll do it again at the end of the day instead of just calling and checking your inbox all day, every day.
Well, I think in a world where like Google reviews are king, you have that mentality of, I can't let this sit. I'm going to get
you're scared. Star. Like, they're going to get mad at me. They're going to think I'm not, consumer centric or anything like that. But usually you got a 24-hour grace period. Like people don't expect you to, like 24 hours is the healthy amount of time to get back to someone. So don't feel like you have to answer that email right away. If it was urgent, they would have called.
I think that's one thing. One of the downsides to being always connected is that it creates unreasonable expectations on, say, a client's part and on our own part. Like you, Mahmoud, I see an email pop up. I think, I've got to, I've got to answer this right away. When in reality, I really don't. I could let it wait till I had a little bit of downtime. Mm-hmm. I've taken just very recently, because I had fallen into a bad habit. Somebody would send me an email that I would need to respond to, and I would think to myself, I'll get to this later, and then I would completely forget it because it kind of gets buried down to my inbox. So I've been using the snooze feature a lot, where you can get a notification like a couple of hours later. That has been really, really helpful for me. Right. That I won't completely forget it, but I don't feel like I have to respond to it right away.
I like that. Yeah, the snooze, and the other one is that I use other than the snooze is when you answer someone, so they throw the ball at you and then you throw it back into the court, you send them that email, but you kind of want to have a follow-up with them. There's a little, like with Gmail, there's a little clock at the top. You hit it and you say, like, remind me of this email next week. So if this person answers you back, that reminder is gone. If they don't, that reminder will pop up. And you'll say, hey, man, I sent you that email last week. What's up?
Yeah, I love a good snooze button, but there was a comedian that says something like, "There's nothing like starting the day off with procrastination."
I did that this morning.
Speaking of comedians, did you see that completely off topic that Bob Saget passed away yesterday?
Yeah,
we had to mention that. Yeah, absolutely. America's TV dad.
America's TV dad. He was. I read an interesting article about him today because his TV persona was so different than his stand-up persona. I don't know if you've ever seen his stand-up.
I remember being completely shocked the first time I saw the stand-up.
I was shocked.
Right. So a fellow comedian that I've got to work with a bunch in the past before he moved to California. His name's John Stites. Look him up if you get a chance. He's hilarious. One of my favorite comedians. Had been working a lot with Bob recently and did an interview with Bob on his podcast and asked Bob, how does this happen that you're America's dad? You're this clean cut, every man, every dad looks up to you. And then you go to a comedy club and it's completely different. And he said, I'm an actor. That's what I do. I play a role. And I thought that was really, really fascinating because like you guys, having seen him in, these very clean cut, very clean family roles, whether it was hosting America's Got Talent or not America's Got Talent.
Oh, America's Funniest Videos.
Yeah, America's Funniest Videos, Full House or whatever. And then when I saw his stand up, I'm like, is this really the same guy? But that he's just got this switch that, he's just doing his job. He's an actor. Right. His job was to play that clean cut dad. I thought that was really an interesting interview.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He played what? Danny? Was that his name in Full House?
I have no idea because I've only seen bits and pieces.
Yeah,
of
Danny.
It.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we lost Bob and Betty White and Sidney
Poitier. Yep. Betty White was kind of America's sweetheart, wasn't she? I mean, she was just an incredible actress, comedian. My wife and I are kind of hooked on game shows from the 1970s, like the Match Game. If neither one of you guys are old enough to remember that show.
I do not.
But she was just a phenomenal game show panelist. And my favorite role of hers was as Sue Ann Nivens in the Mary Tyler Moore Show, the happy homemaker. She was, 99 is a long, full life. And, we're sad that she's gone, but grateful for all the laughs that she gave us over the years. Absolutely. Boy, this took a dark turn all of a sudden, didn't it?
I have some Q&As to help bring us out of it.
Okay.
All right. So we're talking about cell phones. We want to know, we're kind of griping a bit, especially me, but I want to know thoughts on when it is and isn't appropriate, or should everyone just mind their own business? Dinner time, whether you're at home or out to eat, technology at the table. What do you guys think?
Only to take pictures of your food.
Yeah,
that's when it's appropriate. If you're an Instagram girlfriend. Okay.
Yes, I need to put those, quesadillas on my Instagram. That's cool, but texting and scrolling, no.
Yep, absolutely agree. Well, I actually have an Instagram page dedicated entirely to food. So barely a meal goes by that I don't take pictures of it. But
nice.
You're a big fan of tenderloins, right?
I am the breaded tenderloin, man. That's most people don't know this, but the literal translation of the word manna in the Bible is breaded tenderloin. Did you know that? It's actually not true. So nobody take me at face value for that. Mahmoud, have you ever had a breaded tenderloin?
No, I do not eat pork. I've had breaded other stuff. I think I had a different. Was it a steak?
Well, there's beef ones.
Yeah, I had most tenderloins are or the fried, what is it, like tenderized style is usually they make a lot of pork chop or tenderloin, whatever. And then, but I had the steak version of that, and it was pretty
country fried steak or chicken fried steak is,
and I had it in the sandwich, like the exactly like a tenderloin.
Well, that sounds good.
You got this tiny little bun and this giant.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
I've never figured out the proper way to eat that, but whatever.
Eat around the edges till you get down to bun size, and then you just dig into everything.
Exactly. And you're gonna get rid of some bread anyways. I usually leave some bread out anyway. Right. So I start with the meat to fill myself, and then throw some of the bread out.
All right. So end of a long day, you're all sitting down to a show or a movie. Is it okay to be on the phone to kind of wind down, or should you put it aside, hang out with the family? That way you're all actually watching the same show.
Rick, you want to go?
Sure. I typically will watch. I can't divide my attention that way. The one exception is I have a Saturday night tradition. There's a horror host named Svengoolie out of Chicago that shows all these old classic 1930s, 40s, 50s horror and monster movies. And we have a live tweet with several thousand other people. So I've always got my phone in my hand, or rather my iPad when I'm watching that, because we're all live tweeting along with it. But if I'm watching something, typically it's, I'm watching it, or else I'll miss, suddenly I'll go, what happened the last 10 minutes? Uh-huh. How about you, Mahmoud?
Yeah, I mean, that's different. That's like interactive watching. Like you're watching a show with a lot of other people, and you have a feed or a hashtag, and you just pile on the tweets as the shows progress.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. But like movie night, or I think what did we watch we have like a date night every Saturday or Friday night. I forget what we watched. Oh yeah, the new Jim Gaffigan, the new special, because we went and saw him in November in Indy, and we really liked it. He was still working out his material, so we went and watched the full special on Netflix. And yeah, I usually put my phone away. I leave it in a different room, or I have a couple of what I call phone jails at home. I have a box. Like sitting under my nightstand. Well, the nightstand has like two, like the top one and then the bottom level, I guess. There's a box in there where I throw my phone, and it charges my phone at the same time. And it's kind of like a phone jail that I throw my phone in there and then go do whatever I need to do with the kids. So if I have my phone on me and it's buzzing, I'm going to keep checking it.
Right.
Even when I'm with my kids. But with phone jails, I have one here too. This is what I was talking about last week. This is also a phone jail for my desk. You can get this anywhere, like Walmart, Kroger. They all have it now. And what it is, it plugs. It plugs USB-C, USB, and it is basically a tanning bed for your phone. This is UV. This is UV. And what it does is it sanitizes your phone.
Oh.
So you can put a phone with the case and everything in here.
What a great idea.
Right?
That is fantastic.
Because your cell phone is supposed to be like the dirtiest thing in your house.
Yes.
Right.
Next to your toilet bowl and your dashboard. And then you just plug your phone through here. And then you close it. And this thing lights up. And there's UV penetrating your phone until it's sanitized. Before, I used to use like wet wipes and open the phone case and clean it up and everything. But now this is super handy. I like it. And you put it's not just sanitizing. You put your phone on do not disturb, and you set it in there, and you go get productive.
I love it. One of those. That's way cool.
Yeah, you guys should get these. My brother-in-law got me this for Christmas. I did not know these things existed until I got one this Christmas from my brother-in-law. Yeah, I like it.
One thing I wish we kind of had on here right now is the female perspective, because I will tell you this comes up a lot, like in meetings and stuff, like during like the small talk portion or whatever. And the common thing I hear is like, and I'll go ahead and kind of say my answer. When I watch a show, I like to watch it as intended. So I like to watch and listen to the entire thing. If it's supposed to be kind of a dark setting, I like to turn off the lights. If not, I have to have the lights on. But I like to watch as intended, which means I keep the cell phone away unless I'm watching like soccer has an amazing culture on Twitter. So if I am watching like a soccer match, I might like live tweet with the other people watching the match. That's just kind of a fun thing to do. But if it's something pre-recorded on Netflix or whatever, I say get that phone as far away from as possible and watch the show as intended with the people you're in the room with. That way, there isn't one person watching and another person looking down, and you go, "Oh, that was awesome," and then they look up and go, "What was awesome?" But that kind of the consensus of what I hear, and this is why I wish so badly we had the female perspective in here, is usually it is females that are looking down at their phone during a show. And whether they're checking Facebook or Instagram, and I get it, it's at the end of a long day. You kind of want to turn your mind off. You don't want to do anything serious. But I would love to kind of get down to the root of why. Why is it usually like the males are, in general, not every time, why is it the males are watching the show, and why is it that the females on their phone? I would love to know the answer.
Yeah. To all the females out there.
Let us know.
Let us know.
Why do you check social at night?
Yeah.
Also, how do you deal with kids, Mahmood, as far as like nighttime? Like if you all get an opportunity to watch a 22-minute show together,
Hmm.
what's the technology rule for you?
I mean, I just leave my phone like somewhere in a phone jail or whatever, and I just try to give them 100%. Well, my thinking is I only have 2-3 hours with them after school, and then after that they're young, so they go to bed pretty early by 8 o'clock. So they get off school at 5. I have between 5 and 8 with them, so I just try to maximize that time. That's
You want to
just
see their face. You don't want to see their face down into a
right.
screen.
Right, and they don't have phones yet, thank God. So that's good. The oldest is 7. It's going to be 8 soon. So they don't have phones yet. So I am the one that needs to be managing myself with my screen time. I don't have to manage them because they only have the Echo, Alexa. That's not a screen. They have the Amazon tablet things, which we put away. We only use them if it's a weekend or we're traveling or something. So it's pretty under control right now since they don't have phones yet. I'd be curious to see later how what kind of rules I need to set in place for them and their screen time. But right now, I'm just trying to manage my own addictions and my own screen time.
I can't stand seeing the tablets out at a dinner table. Like if you go out to a restaurant, table next to you, you have like, and maybe it's the completely wrong impression, but this is the impression people are giving off when you have 2 kids looking at tablets and you have a wife and a husband both looking at their phones. They just look so completely disinterested in each other.
Yeah.
And whether or not that's the reality, that's the vibe you're giving off.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, family time is family time. You gotta maximize it. And my thinking is, every time you see your kids, every day you see your kids, they're a day older. Like they're not the same kid. So just give them 100%. Cherish that time. Put the phone away.
What about meetings? Is there an okay time to have a phone out at a meeting? Rick, start with you.
Not really. Maybe during that like initial little chit chat time, it's okay to kind of just take a quick glance. But generally, I mean, when I think about our church board meetings and so on, I don't want I want them paying attention to what's going on in the meeting, Now, it may be different if they're taking notes on Google Docs or something like that. But as far as scrolling during a meeting, I try to, whenever we have a meeting, a board meeting or whatever, there's a reason we're there. And, I am about meetings like you're here for a purpose. Come in, sit down, do your work, get this done, and then we can go do something else. I don't really like meetings. So I want to get them over with as concisely as we can while still taking care of what we can take care of. So unless you're using it to take notes, I know a lot of people do that. I've mentioned to somebody recently, I'm not quite sure how I survived before Google Docs when we could, take notes during a meeting and share with everybody and edit. But, unless you're taking notes, no, I don't think so.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I usually have my phone facing me just to see like what kind of notifications are popping up. But if it's not an emergency, I'm not grabbing it.
I think everyone has sat next to that super distracting person that's just texting the whole meeting. It's just like, dude, put your phone away.
or worse yet, playing Candy Crush.
Oh boy.
I will do that. I will say the one time I am really bad with technology is in any type of lecture setting. Because if I am not on something stupid like Candy Crush, my mind just wanders. And I cannot pay attention.
That's why they invented fidgets and fidget spinners and stuff, so people can focus more. Yeah, I think I need to get me one of those, so I'm not reaching for my phone during meetings. So what do you guys think about phone jails?
I like
I
it.
think it's a great idea.
We'll look into that.
Hey, you need to get a couple for the girls, Trent.
I had never heard of a phone jail until today, so I'm gonna look that up.
You got
So
some homework to do. You got some research to do today.
Do you guys leave your phones on overnight?
Yes. Well, away, but on, because my phone is on my alarm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you, Trent?
I leave it on, as a just in case of like an overnight emergency or something like that.
All right.
Yeah. See, if the phone rings in the middle of the night, you're like, oh, goody. Like,
Oh, you leave the ringtone like on?
yeah, as a just in case of an emergency or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I put it on like mute or whatever. Actually, it's always on mute. But the alarm itself, like it, I have this alarm that kind of it doesn't wake you up at a specific time, but it wakes you up within a half an hour window. So it will track your sleep and make sure that you're not in REM. You make sure that you're a little shallow, going through some shallow sleep, and that's when it wakes you up.
That's
Does
a
that make
cool
sense?
piece of technology.
Yeah, it's just an app. It tracks your breathing. I mean, it sounds a little creepy that it tracks your breathing. But
You showed that to me before. Yeah,
did I?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
it's called Sleep Cycle, and it doesn't wake you up at 5. It wakes you up between 4:45 and 5:15. Whenever you're coming back from REM, because we go like this, like as we're sleeping. Apparently, like we go deep and then we shallow, deep, shallow. It waits until you're shallow. You got some shallow sleep, and that's when it wakes you up, because that's a better time to wake up, I guess.
So is that connected to a sensor on your body somehow? How does it
No,
sense that?
no. It just listens to your breathing.
Interesting.
So the phone is listening to your breathing.
That's a little creepy.
It is.
I'm sure it does anyway.
I do have a tracker that tracks like my sleep and stuff,
Right.
and it like tells me, hey, you had crappy sleep or good sleep, and it tracks my activities and everything. But that specific app is designed to, first of all, it tells you if you have issues too. Like it's kind of like a sleep study. It'll tell you, hey, you snored for 2 minutes or 5 minutes last night.
Wow.
It kept telling me I wasn't getting enough sleep, so I just kind of turned it off.
Yeah.
That's not how you do it, Trent.
So
Don't tell me what to do, app.
You're not the boss of me.
Like this isn't going to change, so I'm just going to turn you off.
So other than in the office, because we realize that's a little bit of a different setting, we'll ask Mahmood, and then Trent, do you still have a landline at home? Mahmood?
Oh, I mean, I thought you were asking Trent. No landline. I've never had a landline. I don't think so. The last landline I remember is back when I lived in Morocco, and we had that one phone in the house, and it was like 2001 when we got rid of it. Before that, 1999 or something. It was already gone. The minute my dad brought a cell phone home, the landline was out the window.
How about you, Trent?
So, I mean, we have them at the office because we need to, but
right.
At home, no. We have a number for a landline. I think it came with the internet or something like that, but we've never hooked a phone up to it.
Oh, that's right. We have that too. They kept telling us that. Like, you guys have a landline. I'm like, I don't want it. Are you sure? Like, let's plug it in. I'm like, no, I don't want a landline.
I don't want one more phone.
Just internet. They're like, all right, well, you have it here just in case you want to. I remember that. It was like 5 years ago when we hooked up the
last thing I need is one more avenue for spam calls.
Right. The guy kept saying, hey, you have a line. You have a line. I'm like, I don't need a line. I need the internet. Well, it's right here if you want to hook up a landline. Like, he kept kind of like selling me on the landline. I'm like, buddy, 2000. Come on.
Yeah, we
How
don't
about
have,
you,
we
Rick?
haven't had a landline. No, not in 20 years or so. Haven't had a landline. Probably longer than that. So, and like you said, Trent, it's just another way for spam calls. My ratio of spam calls to real phone calls is probably 95-1. It seems like either student loan forgiveness or car extended warranty, Medicare or Medicaid. Yeah, Medicare, Social Security, blah blah blah. That's pretty much all I get. Most of my friends and people from church, if they're going to call me, they'll text me first and say, "Hey, you got a few minutes? I'd like to give you a call." I really like that too, by the way, because I can say sure, or I can say, "Hey, I'm going to be busy for the next half hour. I'll call you back here in a bit," or whatever. So that's really, really useful. You guys may not be old enough to get this reference, but one of my favorite spam calls. So there's a spam script, if you will. All these people work off of scripts.
Mm-hmm.
They'll call and say, "Is Bob there?" And you'll say no, and then they'll say, "Well, maybe you could help me."
Could help me.
Yeah. So one time a spam caller called and said, "Is Jenny there?" And it just clicked, and I said, "No, she's moved. Her new number is 8675309." Only time I've ever got. You guys get the reference or not?
Yes. The song.
Only time I've ever got cussed out by a spam caller. This guy was not happy with me.
He did. He picked up
Oh
on
my
it?
gosh, yes.
I wouldn't have picked up on it. I would have written it first. I'm like, oh. So he went off,
That's one of the crowning achievements of your life, right? That tells you a little bit about what my life is like, ticking off a spam caller.
I'm a little slower than the average bear, so he would have taken me a couple minutes before picking up on it.
Like the old,
he probably got it multiple times. That's why he was
that's
ready.
probably true.
Yeah, I believe.
Sure, he loves that song now. Well, I think that wraps it up for this week. Thanks for jumping on.
That was great.
Ranting about technology.
Yeah,
I think we kept it pretty. We didn't keep it too judgmental. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so.
We're good boys. We're pretty tame.
Put your phones down. Say hi to your family.
And get a phone jail.
That's right. Get a phone and a disinfector. Phone gel and disinfector. That's a really fantastic idea because they are filthy.
Yeah, Walmart. Check your local Walmart or Amazon.
Yep. So
if someone's trying to watch a show with you, watch it with them.
Yeah,
exactly.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We'll see you.
Have a great day.